Hello CoH fans, ArmKG here once again, this time with no FPVOD. Yes, that is right, I got a game right out of the Balance Beta patch, but this time it features Cat versus Tomitoma on loggers, Cat playing as the Americans, Tomitoma playing as the Wehrmacht, located in the north and south respectively. And we're ready to go. We are past the 5-second mark and we'll be unpausing in 3, 2, 1, go. 6, 7, 8, and many more to come, as I have been saying all the way. So, first move by Tomitoma, building his Wehrmacht quarters next, literally next to his east medium munition point, meaning his grenadiers, his Volt Grenadiers, his MGs, his sniper, his bikes will be closer to that south east area of the map, closer to the medium fuel point, and with an easy access, I would say, to the two houses in the middle of the map. Likewise, Cat opens with a barracks to the edge of his base and gets his first rifleman squad out, while his capping order seems to be quite standard. One engineer to the low fuel, the medium munition, and probably to the medium fuel point to the west, while the other capping the medium munition, probably the victory point or not, and of course the medium fuel point to the east. Unlike that kind of safe and well used capping order by Cat, Tomitoma opts to go for a kind of a munition heavy capping order, having both the medium munition points in his possession right now, and it's gonna meet up with the first rifleman squad right around his the strategic point to the north of his base. And surprisingly enough, the first unit out for Tomitoma was an MG, and the second one is a bike. Now that is a combo that we actually see by well-skilled and well-versed players in the game. They use the bike both for scouting as well as dislodging riflemen, as well as blocking them and giving them the MG time to set up, etc., etc. At this time, however, the MG and the bike seem to be kind of far away from each other. The MG has moved towards the center of the map, where Condor, I think it's Condor, his alias on game replays, or Tomitoma, whatever you want to use, has actually capped the middle victory point and has set up his MG there. An MG that is continually moving, once again a sign of a player that really invests in that early MG micro in order to get an advantage, and having his bike to scout for him. He moves a bit to the west, probably setting up to face the engineers and or the riflemen. However, both of them seem to be out of the arc of fire of the MG42. Third unit out by Tomitoma is a Volt Grenadier squad that is assigned to the task of repelling those engineers from decapping or even capping the medium fuel point to the east. However, those engineers must probably have succeeded in their mission, while a rifleman squad hits a mine by the choke point in between the hedges near the middle victory point, taking no casualties but being brought down to almost half health. And that rifleman squad, are they gonna take cover inside the building? Yes, they are. That means that effectively Tomitoma won't be able to cap that high munition point for quite some time, and he has lost control of his of his early capture medium fuel point in the east, at which point the third rifleman squad may have made their way there and are pushing off those Volt Grenadiers. So at this time Tomitoma has essentially no fuel income except for that +5 to the side of his base. Engineers upgraded with flamers. As we all know, engineers are harder to suppress in this patch, in this balance patch. It's not the same as they were before. that are getting suppressed by one volley of fire from Volk's Grenadiers. And that probably would mean that they will be much better when they're flanking. MG and Bike doing their thing. We are now at the 4-minute 46, 47, 48 second minute mark, whatever you want to say. And dominant map control by the American player, denying the Wehrmacht player fuel and even denying him the high munition point by the west of his base. 2 Volks, 2 MGs, 1 Bike is the unit composition for the Wehrmacht player, of course counting in the first 2 Pioneer squads. No player has lost any squads up to now, which is really nice to see. And we have the bar upgrade being researched by Cat. He will have bars probably at before the 6-minute mark, which is actually quite fast. Actually, he had all that fuel in his possession. He is entitled to his bars. And if he gets a second flamer on his other engineers that have no upgrade now, he's probably going to utilize that age is old but really effective for riflemen 2 engineers transition into early to mid game. MG a little bit late repositioning, so those riflemen will get the cap. Will get the T-cap on the strategic point to the west of Tomitoma's base, and will cut him off from the recently acquired fuel in the far west. So Tomitoma will have to address that to get his fuel back. That MG42 with the Bike, although there may be a reason why they're there, and of course that reason is to hold that fuel. They don't seem to be contributing much to what Tomitoma actually needs at this time, and this is some solid map control. Flamers, or yes, second engineer with flamers right now on the field. The ones that are moving actually towards the westmost fuel point, which was in the hands of Tomitoma. Riflemen standing their ground against the Bike, which is probably gonna get repaired by those Pioneers. MG42 not facing the direction of the engineers, really late to respond there by Tomitoma. Pioneers go down, the Bike is gonna follow, MG has the retreat. MG was facing the direction of the direction of the opening in the hedges, fearing that those riflemen would make their move and try to flank it from there, and completely missed those engineers. In the east, things haven't changed much, although there is a bunker up by Tomitoma. Probably it's gonna get upgraded to a med bunker. I mean, there's no other reason to get a med bunker this early in the game unless you're gonna make it into a med bunker. Volks decapping the medium ammunition point to the northeast with relative success, since the riflemen have taken cover into the building, probably to get some sight of the nearby area, because as we all know, riflemen or any unit in a building may get their line of sight increased. Now they got out of the building and they're pushing off those Volks Grenadier, probably gonna cause some casualties in the meantime. Wow, yeah, they took some casualties while they were retreating. For some reason, they even slowed down. I don't know, maybe it's the longer roads that are infamous for their ability to slow down everything that goes through them, even if it is a Bike or an infantry squad. Tier 2 is going up for Tomitoma in his base. While our American player has just put down his supply yard, he's floating quite a few manpower and munitions. He's fine. He has 150, and fuel, he has a very solid income, that's to be said. He's currently at 80 fuel and climbing up at 32 fuel per minute. That may be an indication of an early tank depot even. I mean, he could actually go for it. Unless he's fearing... Nah, I don't think he has something to fear. Pax will be most probably the first unit out of the Krieg barracks. However, The packs have been changed. They only have one shot against, one shot cloaked, so they get the bonus for one shot. Then they are regular 80 guns by the Wehrmacht, which means they will be still doing damage to allied armor, but not so much as they would with 3 bonus shots. Now the position by Contador actually the mindset by Contador seems to be to hold down the east. He even has 3 MGs on the field right now, which is kind of good against riflemen with bars, but he may have been better off. I don't know. Maybe he should invent some grenadiers instead of a third MG that he could fit with equip with some Shreks. Although, if we take a look at the tactical map, we see a big flank coming from Cat. We have 2 rifleman squads in the north, 2 approaching from the west, and even a flamer behind them in case they fail. Most probably that flamer is gonna be the follow-up to those riflemen. Some riflemen take cover into the wooden building next to the stone house, and they seem not to be going for the flank after all, because one of the riflemen that was trying to do that from the west hits a mine, and that is quite a deterrent for, when you're setting up your flank to hit a mine and get your squad to have health. Tomitoma responds. He sends an MG and a full squad there. They are gonna probably drive off those second squad of riflemen, while the skirmish goes on between those riflemen and the Volks, the MG42 and the pack in that area of the map that's covered by those buildings. Tomitoma seems to be targeting the wooden building with his pack, and he's gonna probably kill it eventually. And let's hope Cat pays attention, because if the building goes down, whatever is inside the building goes down, and you probably don't want that to happen, do you? As I said, the fuel advantage by Cat has given him the opportunity to take up to a tank depot, and he's getting his first Sherman out. He's probably gonna hit the field at the 12-minute, before the 13-minute actually. We are currently at the 12-minute, 12, 13, 14, 15-second mark, while the house does go down and takes a whole rifleman squad with it. Actually, it was a 4-man rifleman squad, but still, it's a whole squad going down to a building that you did not pay attention to. So, nice move by Contador, kind of a slip by Cat not paying attention there. Flamers making their way into the building. That's not so good for that MG42. The MG42 has to reposition. Pack has opened fire on the M4 Sherman, has brought it down around 15% health. Flank incoming, 2 rifleman squad, engineers with flamers, and the tank, of course, all getting suppressed. There is for the fatherland being used. I think, yes, that's for the fatherland being used by Tomitoma. His squad kind of stay in the fight. Second squad of engineers make their way out of the building, are getting suppressed. However, there is still the second squad of engineers that have not been suppressed. Second MG42 now comes to help. Those engineers will have to eventually retreat. Sherman is at 25% health, but the pack has been decrewed, and this Sherman will have will be okay actually, because with no pack there, he can still go on. However, second pant on the field, making its way towards the Sherman. The Sherman starts to retreat, and we have field repairs being popped by Cat. Indication that he is, of course, armor. He is left-hand side armor, the side that leads to Pershing eventually. The second pack took a shot at the Pershing. Second shot at the Pershing. Not the Pershing, the M4 Sherman. The Sherman is down to around, I would say 40% health, but it's gonna be okay, because the engineers come to repair it, and it's 2 of them, so it's gonna be fairly quick. Now, Tomitoma is reinforcing by his bunker. He has recruited his previously decrewed pack, has opened fire on the M4 Sherman. One more shot will take it out, but it misses. Wow, that was so freaking close. Well, maybe it wouldn't have taken it down, but still, it could, and that could be such a devastating loss for the American player to lose his first Sherman to that last shot by the pack. Anyway, back on our fight, some riflemen being forced to retreat under the fire of the MG42 and Volks Grenadiers. Wehrmacht infantry that have attained veterans level 1. Let's see if Tomitoma is gonna opt for even more veterancy, or his infantry, or just gonna change it, or even stop getting it completely. 2 Grenadier squads on the field, 2 Volks on the field, 3 MGs, 2 Pioneers, and of course the 2 packs. While the American player has 4 Rifleman squad, he has replenished the loss of his 1 Rifleman squad to the building that went down, and he has a second M4 Sherman on the field right now, which is probably getting upgraded. No, it's not getting the gunner upgrade. Yep, he is actually getting it now. I shouldn't have spoken so early. That second M4 Sherman is making its way towards the west of the map, probably setting up for an armor flank this time, although we even have grenades being upgraded by our American player, so he seems to be really committed to that second flank that he's going to attempt. 4 riflemen with grenades and 2 Shermans, it's gonna be good, I guess. Of course, he doesn't have really any commander abilities that can actually do damage, but if he pops once again field repairs, that will give his Shermans even more, health, literally, because that's what it gives. And Sherman with like a 50% bonus to its health, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be actually quite good for him. Pack opening fire on the first Sherman that has been repaired brings it down to around, I don't know, 70% health. The Sherman is going to be fine. MG42, one of them has to retreat. The second one is getting flanked by 2 Flamers and the Rifleman squad. We have for the Fatherland being popped. Pack still firing onto the Sherman. Once again, the Sherman really low on health, but it's gonna survive because Cat was backing off at Sherman while the pack was firing, and the single Grenadier equipped with Shrek was nowhere near that Sherman to finish it off. And now the flank comes from the west, 2 riflemen equipped with bars, 1 veterans level 1, as well as the second Sherman. Are coming in. The Sherman is low on health, has to go behind the hedges to actually survive. And now the remaining Rifleman squad as well as the Flamers come from the east, so that west and east combination of flank as well as the Sherman have brought down the forces of our Wehrmacht player significantly low. He has lost both his packs, they have been decrewed. He has lost 1 MG42, he has lost Volks Grenadiers, he has lost even Grenadiers in that battle, and things do not look good for him. Veterans level 2 for one of the Rifleman squads, actually for 2 of the Rifleman squads that are now retreating under the fire of the MG42 as well as the Grens and the Volks that have Veterans level 2. Sherman, however, still alive and kicking. Actually, both Shermans at, I would say, 5% health, but the important thing is they have not gone down. And that is a win for the American player. American player who hasn't researched any supply yard upgrades. His manpower income is at 244, kind of low, but he is floating quite a few manpower, and that's because he has been putting his infantry squads to good use, and he really didn't have to replace any of them except for the one that went down by the house. Not so good of a manpower situation for a Wehrmacht player, though. He has lost at least one Volks and one Grenadier squad, as well as a Pioneer squad, and he's investing actually so much in reinforcing those squads that are used to recruit the AT guns and the MG42s that I don't think that he can get any more squads on the field right now, except for the one that he already has. And if there is a second flank coming, actually a third flank coming by the American player, and it is as effective as the last one, utilizing 2 full health Shermans once again, even with veterancy, because one of them is at veterans level 1, and now it's that stacking effect that the American forces have. Once they get in veterancy, it's kind of tough for you to fight back. We are now at the 20-minute, 33, 34, 35 second mark, and one of the Shermans has made its appearance in the west, probably setting up for the flank, while the second one is being repaired still in the American base. I think Cat even got the long barrel upgrade for his Shermans. I don't know why though. Or is it not yet? I could be mistaken. Anyway, back to our game, where Tomitoma seems to hate those buildings and brings them down. So he has destroyed the second building there, by that area, by the medium munition point. Probably, why am I screaming? Probably he doesn't want it to be used by the American player for cover in one of his infantry squads, as it happened in the last case with those flamers. And now he has 3 packs on the field, nicely positioned, covering almost every flank. He's trying to cope with some of wow. Grenadier squad taking heavy losses, being brought down to 1 man, and that was not good, because those Grenadiers were his second and only infantry squad on the field, and now he will have to make things happen, make things work, with 1 false Grenadier squad and 3 MG42s and 3 packs. But packs cannot fight infantry, and the biggest threat right now is that infantry flank that is coming on, and we have flamers nearby the medic bunker that try to set up demolition charges. We have Shermans closing in from the east with field repairs active. Bunker goes down to the demolition charges. We have a crocodile on the field, still under the effects of field repair. Pack is getting decrewed by the crocodile. Second pack is probably gonna get decrewed by the Sherman. Flanked by the engineers was a success, although they did went down. 2 more rifleman squads from the north, taking an MG42 head on, and at this time there's even 2 more rifleman squads moving in from the west, and there's only 1 actual pack being on the field right now, because the other 2 have been brought down. Engineers even trying to place demolition charges on the second bunker by Tomitoma. They are going to go down to those Grenadiers. However, the single pack that was remaining crewed on the field goes down to the Sherman, and this is effectively game over for Tomitoma. A lot of armor by the American player, and even some register artillery on top of the medic bunker by Tomitoma in a last-ditch effort to kill off those Shermans. But a second, actually a third in the game, field repair saves those Shermans. The game has been decided. Cat is gonna take the win against Tomitoma. Maybe Tomitoma, as probably was evident in the chat, says that packs are not really good anymore. It might be true, but unit composition wise, most probably packs are not gonna cut it anymore against against the Allied armor. Probably you want some Shreks in the mix, and even if well, actually, Tomitoma had Shreks, but he lost them to the flank, and that's a problem. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, say quicker retreats. I don't know, or even, you know, more grenadiers with Shreks instead of 3 MGs. Maybe that would help you. You know, at least after the second Sherman make its appearance on the field, I don't know it was really necessary to recruit a third MG. As we saw, Vet 2 Rifleman Squad can just stay there and fire upon the MG42. And, you know, after the suppression threshold has been reached, the MG42 does not do that much damage to the infantry squads. But overall, well played by Cat. His flanks, even at the beginning, before the Shermans, and even with the Shermans, were really good. The defense set up by Contador seemed to be lacking, not in the AT field, but in the support field. I didn't see any mines. I just saw one mine by that building and 2 more by the hedges. But it's not enough, because those mines are infantry route mines. It's not tank route mines. I don't know. A more spaced out mines, I would say, would give him a bit more of a chance to fight off the Shermans. However, you have to take into account that Contador was pressed by those bars and flamers, and he had to use lots of munitions on for the fatherland. So that's another thing. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the game. I hope you take a first look at what this matchup may look like, and maybe we see some more armor being used, and maybe we see a decline in the packs being used, and more Shreks, or even more Grenadier heavy strats, or even more mines and tank traps being used. Tank traps that were literally not used by most, by most Wehrmacht players, and some tank traps here and there might really do the trick, because the only thing that can crash tank traps by Americans is either a crocodile with the upgrade, the bulldozer, whatever it is, or the Sherman. There's nothing else. The Pershing, I'm sorry. There's nothing else. So I don't know. Maybe people should start building tank traps. Maybe we'll see that change coming in. Anyway, that's all. Armor KG out.